Hi, my name is Deborah Diazio, and I'm from Pennsylvania. I had an abortion because I was nervous about being pregnant at 17 and because my boyfriend wanted me to have one. When I went to Planned Parenthood, the worker there told me that I wouldn't be aborting a baby because it was nothing more than a blob of cells. She then told me that I would have to forget about school if I decided not to have an abortion. I scheduled the appointment. Because it was against the law in 1975 for a minor to get an abortion without parental consent, the woman from Planned Parenthood told me to bring a legal ID of someone else and not to tell my parents, which I did. A couple of years later, I found I was in the same situation and had gotten another abortion. As time went on after the abortion, I tried to hide my shame. There were physical aspects from the abortion that were bothersome, but nothing like the shame and guilt from having had the abortion and the lies I had to tell to get the first one. A few years later, a friend of mine brought me to the Lord, and I had accepted Christ as my Savior. I began to see that abortion is murder, and the guilt and shame were at its worst. Years later, images of those abortions kept coming back to me over and over again. I realized that I had done the most awful thing I could ever do in the most inhumane way. I paid someone to kill my unborn baby. After that, I felt I should suffer and that it should hurt. I felt cheap and unworthy. After all, I used sex for recreation and abortion for birth control. Even though I didn't think I was worthy of God's forgiveness for this, the pain was too much, and I decided to go to Him anyway. God's love and forgiveness came, and eventually the images stopped. But the best was yet to come. When God forgave me, He turned the situation into something good. I became involved with pro-life groups, participating in events such as rallies, marches, and protests that were in opposition to abortion. I realized that my shame and my guilt were now gone. The intimidation tactics of Planned Parenthood to get me to have the abortion procedure, and the physical and emotional aftermath are too painful for any woman to have to deal with. An unborn baby is a human being and deserves to be nurtured and treated as such. I believe that Roe v. Wade is the worst U.S. Supreme Court decision since the Dred Scott decision. Our silence is paid for by the blood of the unborn. Silence equals acceptance. This is why I am silent no more.